Hello everyone, this is V32 back again. It's time for another What's on Deck. So let's talk about what's going on in the world of cards and what is on deck. First of all, let's go through some projects on Kickstarter. Unfortunately, this week there's there's not too many new projects. There's some. Most of them disappointing. Couple are good. One is especially good and you should definitely check out. First of all, we got Napoleon playing cards from Tyrion Alexander. It is 15% funded, 25 days to go. Some nice artwork, Japanese themed, as you can see. I do like those court cards and everything. It even got the pips in the background, which is different, nice. Custom pips and indexes, custom aces, as you can see. The back design is okay. It does represent Japanese architecture and actually represents the sliding doors from Japan, so it's not bad. It's obviously Japanese themed and everything, but it also, it just seems like it could have a little bit more going on. The Jokers are alright for what they are. I like the colors and everything that they use as well. To be printed by Legends and looks pretty good. There's also a stretch goal for a second deck with a dark deck that's only going to have 500 or 1,000 printed, depending on how many people want them. And currently, as it is, I believe that the main deck is only going to have 1,000 printed, or whatever is needed for the project. However, for $12,000 goal, I'm not sure that they're going to make it, unfortunately. Next up, we got individual playing cards. Not sure why it's in quotation marks, but it is. It is 49% funded, 19 days to go, only because it's got 1,100 euro goal. That's a very low goal. So it may make it. This is from Lords Playing Cards, not their first deck. The last project that they did was the Carta on Playing Cards, which was not successful. This one, it seems to have a much lower goal, but it's not a whole lot more exciting. I guess the Jokers are okay. The back design is not really impressive to me. It's just a bunch of shapes and patterns. I guess it's okay. They did customize the faces a bit. I'm not overly excited about those indexes. Court cards, they're okay. And to be printed by MPC, limited run of 100 decks. So obviously it's not going to be the best stock and finish. Apparently they got a t-shirt. The pips are okay. I do not like those indexes though. Those indexes, they're not easy to read. And then the hearts and diamonds colors are kind of dark. And they don't even stand out too much from the black colors of the spades and the clubs. But whatever. I guess it is what it is. Just not really something I'm particularly interested in. Next, we got Contour Playing Cards. Currently 9% funded, 27 days to go. I'm not overly optimistic about this one. Really big goal of $10,000. Classic rookie mistake in my opinion. And this is not the first project, again, for this creator, Jason Nguyen. Because he also did, recently, with not much luck, he actually had this one, which was canceled, the Point Playing Cards, which I will show you. And they got about 6% funded before canceling. It's okay. It's a lot of geometric shapes and patterns, just kind of thrown together, I guess. They're calling themselves ideal playing cards. Kind of weird how they did the indexes and they're going off the edges. It seems like they could have put the extra effort to, I know why they did that. They say that it says they did that just to make sure that it bleeds out for printing, but I don't think that's even necessary. But this pattern in the indexes is actually from the Empire playing cards. Same thing. The pips, I'm not a big fan of. They're hard to read. You know, it's kind of like, I mean, this diamond and the heart, well, they're different but similar, I guess. But I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of the pip style. And that was that one. The court cards, fairly standard. They're okay, but I think, just me personally, I think that the pips should be easily recognizable. And they're not in this case. And that could be a turnoff for backers. With the new project, it's got a nice fancy back design. The borders are going to be way too thin for USB-C. Especially since it's thrown in these red dots in the edges. That means they got a teeny tiny little fraction of an inch of a border, which USB-C is not going to be able to do. I don't think they'd be able to do the borders as is without those red dots. But I mean, it's okay. I gotta say, to me, bit of a rookie mistake. I'm not sure why they're going with USB-C, since the chances of them actually getting funding for USB-C printing are practically next to nothing, as you can tell at this rate. I think when it comes to certain projects, certain decks, and especially creators who haven't done any projects or been successful on Kickstarter, they should start with like MPC printing and at least have a chance at funding. And they gave my club a shout out, the card club, yay. But yeah, just, I don't know. But they've done some research and they've contacted USB-C. Again, they're using the same kind of indexes and pips as the other deck, as you can see. Although some color improvements, I guess. And then the court cards basically, again, same as the other deck. So, I don't know. We'll see what happens. Next up is the Riverboat playing cards, which has the fantastic title of All New Original Playing Cards. How creative. But they're the Riverboat playing cards. It's 2% funded, 17 days to go. Seems like it's like a 20-day project, and it's not going to happen. $70 bud so far. The back design is not bad. Aside from the unnecessary pips, I don't understand why it is that everyone, well, 80% of the people who create playing cards feel the need to throw pips on the back design. There's pips on the faces. We know it's playing cards. You do not need to put pips on the back design. And to me, it's kind of a turnoff. Unless it's done elegantly and it makes sense, it's just unneeded. And in this deck, it's unneeded. It's just thrown on there to fill space. And that's what I think. The biggest problem with this project is that's the only image you get. You can barely make out the faces. I really don't know why it's called a Riverboat playing cards from what I see. And there's no information. Actually, it says it's going to be NPC that is printed, but I don't know. It's just, there's not enough artwork. I also don't understand why creators only use, or are allowed to only use, one name on Kickstarter. Russell. Why just Russell? Why not your whole name? Why hide your whole name? To me, I mean, I'm not trying to say he's trying to hide something, but there's no reason to not tell people who you are. But anyways, moving along. Next up, Beetle Royale playing cards from Adam Evie. I think that's how you pronounce it. Currently standing at 25% funded, 27 days to go. That's a quarter of the way. It's got this cool, well, it's kind of cool beetle theme. Obviously, he's put some effort into it. Apparently, he designed everything, did all the artwork on his iPad, so kudos to him for doing that. That's pretty interesting. There's going to be two decks, a light deck and a dark deck, to be printed by Legends. There is an animation in the back design. When you flip through the cards, as you can see right here, it looks like the beetles are moving. He says that all the back designs are the same, but I can tell you they're not. Obviously, they're not going to be really marked or anything like that, but there is a difference from one to the other to get the animation. So he says every card back is the same with a single orientation. Well, in that case, what that means is that the back designs have a one-way back, and when you reverse it, then you get the animation. So, kind of interesting. He did think that he was, yeah, he had as you can see, it does have some prototypes made by NPC. So I get tongue twisted there. He was not aware of the fact that there was other decks that had animations in them. I pointed that out. Of course, mechanic decks and the Fantastiques and the Bicycle Stickman and others do have animated backs. But, I mean, it's fine. Not everyone's going to know that, obviously. As you can see, there's a light deck and a dark deck, which has a bit more color to it. Basically, just a darkening. Everything else is the same. It's okay. I just think there's a whole lot of beetles. I do think that I appreciate that the faces have a transformation deck style artwork where you have the pips within the images. But I'm just not a big insect fan, and they're all over the cards and the backs and everything. It's okay for what it is, but it's just not appealing to me. They're also planning to perhaps have foil accents with a stretch goal and interior box printing. He also says that he's put down 50% of the funding with Legends, despite the fact that he may not fund, and that he has somebody willing to back the rest of it if he does not fund. That's fine and dandy, but if you do not fund, you do not have people that are interested in, who's going to buy the cards? It's a financial gamble and risky, and I don't think it's to be done. Anyways, moving along. Next up, Magna Carta 800th Anniversary Limited Edition playing cards. It's going to be like the only deck ever in existence that celebrates the 800th anniversary of anything. So it's pretty massive. There's two decks, obviously, being designed with this one. It's from Alexander Chen at Seasons Playing Cards. So you know we're going to get an awesome deck, awesome quality. To be printed by Legends, by USPC, sorry. I get confused. There is a Rebels deck in white and the Royals deck in black. They look very exquisite and elegant. And I highly suggest checking it out. There's your back designs. They are different this time. Not like the Seasons where they're basically just a different color. And they look really good. Nice classic type court cards. But just very beautiful, very nice. I like those pips. Although the diamond kind of looks like it looks like a spade the inside, but obviously the overall shape is a diamond. I like it. Definitely beautiful decks. Definitely, if there's one deck that launched on Kickstarter this week that you need to get, it is this one. And there is also this limited edition King John deck. 500 being produced. It's just a different tuck case. And also gilded edges. So you might want to check that one out. Pretty limited. That one's going to be fetching $100 in no time on eBay. Next up, Elemental playing cards. And that one, as I mentioned, Magna Carta, funded 25 days to go. This one is the Elemental. It's 4% funded, 27 days to go. And it's sadly unimpressive. It's got 4 indexes. It's got 5 custom suits representing 5 different classic elements. Water, air, fire, earth, and who knows what else. He says it's a new generation of deck for games and magic tricks. However, I can't see any magician wanting to perform with a deck like this, or any poker player wanting to play with a deck like this with suits that are unfamiliar, faces that just have a symbol in the center, indexes that aren't very usable, and just, it's not very exciting at all. And apparently they also got secondary elements to allow a new generation of matching games, because that's really necessary. I will point out, and apparently this is going to be printed by Carta Mundi. That's one of the first projects I've seen on Kickstarter being printed by Carta Mundi. But it's not going to happen. Unfortunately, when it comes to decks that try to reimagine playing cards, try to use new suits, people are not interested. People like what they're used to, what they're familiar with. Trying to change the face of playing cards just doesn't work. So it's not going to happen. Next up, one more deck to tell you about on Kickstarter. I know this is a long video. I apologize. This is the American Serial Killer Playing Cards by Lauren McWilliams. Apparently her second project. It is 0% funded. 28 days to go. This project it's being murdered. Like the theme. One of the biggest problems is this is the only artwork, and it's sadly unimpressive. It looks like a kid drew that. I kid you not. It's just a rough original sketch, but it's not impressive at all. It looks like a child drew that. It's horrible. And I've totally created that, and I strongly encourage anyone who's going to create a project on Kickstarter, have some artwork done, have a prototype deck done, show us something. All she's done is told us who is on every card without showing us his diddly squad. And people are not going to pledge money for that. It's true. It's damn true. And that sells it. $7,000? Not a chance in hell she's going to get that. Let's move along away from Kickstarter. I will try to keep it brief, but there's a few things to talk about outside of Kickstarter. First of all, we'll mention that one. Of course, we'll mention this one. I definitely want to talk about that and that. And all right. First of all, Olympus Playing Cards Bicycle Olympus is scheduled to be relaunched with a much lower goal. It was originally $15,000. Now it's going to be $8,500 and to be printed by Legends. Legends branded. I wonder if Legends is putting any cash towards it. I don't know. Similar or same artwork. I think the back design might be a little bit different. The borders on the back design definitely need to be thinner. And that's much better. Also, Devastation coming September 1st from Jody Eklund. It looks really good. You can see the two different Ace of Spades and Black Ink playing cards, standard and limited editions. Very nice. No other artwork available as of yet. Next up, I want to mention these Bicycle Steampunks, now available at Walmart in blue and red. I'm hoping to get those soon. I'm not sure if or how there's any differences from the original Bicycle Steampunk decks other than colors, but I'm hoping to find that out in the upcoming weeks. Next up, Bicycle Skull Luxury Edition. This is like the 8th or 10th Bicycle Skull deck of cards. I kid you not. Conjuring Arts released 3 different colors of Bicycle Skull decks. USB-C did one. Basically, Carnival has done a version, except it wasn't right or back, but it was similar. And actually, I think some of those other ones were not. They actually had skulls on the back designs. They weren't rider backs, but they were still Bicycle Skull decks. And then there was the PlayingCards.net 2 colored versions. and now there's this one, and it's a rider back. And while the box is really nice and fancy, the cards themselves are sadly unimpressive. For the most part, they're just black faced cards, fairly standard black rider backs, as you can see. The Ace of Spades just looks like the other skull decks. I mean, I'm going to get one anyway, but it's pretty unimpressive. I also noticed I had another deck as well, but doesn't seem to be anyone talking about it yet. I don't know much about it, but I saw it on Taobao, where this one is. And this is from Bookable Playing Cards, and it should be available soon on different Magic or card websites, I should say, hopefully, so that I can get my hands on one. And then there is, I want to mention this, the Bicycle Lux decks, Golden Lux, which is $30 each, Crimson Lux, and Cobalt Lux with foil backs. Should be available soon on their website. Mine have already shipped out to me, which is good. Club 808 members were given Club 808 members were given the opportunity to buy them in advance, so they're coming soon. But anyways, what else is it I want to talk about? I should mention, I definitely want to talk about this. A couple more to talk about. First of all, this is the Fall of Troy playing cards, which I'm hoping to get a prototype to review soon. It's coming soon. It's got a very interesting back design and faces. It is obviously based on Troy. Looks pretty cool. Very interesting. And they're coming to Kickstarter very soon. Forget the date. I also want to talk about this Bicycle Fragment, X-Fragment, Slumbers, whatever they're really called. Pretty simple back design. It's from the same company that's done a couple other decks in the past. It's available in Asia. Haven't been able to get my hands on one because of PayPal issues, of course. They're pretty simple, but they're okay. They're Bicycle branded, so I'd obviously like to get my hands on one. And then there's this I also came across. It's a Bicycle Beauty and Youth United Arrows deck. It's really horrible. Look at this back design. It's got the biggest freaking borders ever on a deck of cards. It looks like it should be a mini ghost deck, but it's not. And again, the faces are really scrunched down for some reason. It looks like it's a horrible ripoff, but apparently it's real, as you can see right here. But it's just horribly done. And again, it's from a Asian company, shop. One more I wanted to mention, a couple more I'll talk about. First of all, the new Gremlins deck from Albino Dragon is apparently coming this Tuesday at albinodragon.com. It's not going to be Kickstarter as usual. Maybe they're stepping away from Kickstarter, I don't know. Well, one can hope. Apparently, 311 will be releasing some black Tycoon decks in the near future, and apparently another color in the Jack decks, apparently gold, if I am correct. Speaking of which, speaking of black, the new version of black NLC decks will be available on the Blue Crown's website today, for anyone who's interested. They call it the V3, but last time I checked, it's only the second edition. I don't care if it's the same as the third edition decks. It's still only the second edition of the black, so I'm going to call it as such. One more thing I wanted to talk about, the Umbro Obscure playing cards that were on Kickstarter. Apparently starting fulfillment, but apparently there was some calculation problems with shipping, so apparently they do not have enough money for shipping. But hopefully, they will get them all out and get that all sorted. Anyways, that is that. I apologize if it's a bit long. I will see you next time.